Free knowledge.
It's time for conversations. Who? What? How? Why?
Don't judge me until you know me. Don't underestimate me until you challenge me. And don't talk about me until you talk to me. Or better yet, mind your business and stop minding mine.
What will be today's conversation? Understanding viewpoints, educating, and stimulating discussions. It's time to connect to T-Horne, your host. It's time for conversations.
A little technical difficulty, but we okay. What's up, everybody? Once again, it is Conversations with yours truly, T-Horne, the Uncool, where we talk about those things that people would normally throw shade and negativity at. That's only because they haven't taken the time to have those conversations and get understanding about those situations and move forward in a more positive direction. Whether you disagree or you agree. Either way, we're all about positivity here, and I am excited, so excited about today's show. I get to show y'all the real me a little bit today, the real me. Of course, you guys know I'm an artist. You guys know I'm a podcast host. You guys know I do music. You guys know I do work with community and with the youth and all that good positive stuff. But one of my best qualities is that I am a blurred. And for those who don't understand what blurred is, blurred means black nerd. Yes, I am. And I'm proud of it. At 30, I'm 36 now. I'm about to say 35. At 36 years old, I'm still a blurred to this day. I mean, there's not really anything in my background showing that, but, you know, I'm repping it true all the way through. You feel me? So, today's topic, why I brought the blurred thing up, is because we're going to be talking about the X-Men. So, I know some people are like, T-Horne, like we've seen a couple of your episodes, and what the heck the X-Men gotta do with what you be talking about? I know everybody is throwing everybody off. I know. I plan for it to be like that, but there are a couple of reasons why I'm doing this topic. First and foremost, the X-Men are really popular right now. I mean, like with the comics and the whole X-Men '97 show, and then the Marvel Universe constantly talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I should say, constantly talking about bringing the X-Men in. Everybody's waiting for the X-Men to show up and everything. It's just a lot of talk about the X-Men. So, I figured why not jump on the bandwagon, but flip it so the point it could be a conversation with T-Horne and the Uncool at the same time. You feel me? So just stay tuned, hold your horses. We'll get into that so you guys can understand why I chose this topic. But with that being said, I'd like to bring on some of my guests who will be joining me tonight. So we can go ahead and bring those guests on the screen. We have Raspberry Delight. You still talking about the name? And we have Troy D. Ryan. So real quick, guys, Go ahead. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves, tell the viewers what you're about, and why you're in the show. So we're gonna be gentlemen. We're gonna let Raspberry Delight or Shantae go first.
Do not be telling my government name. My background is I'm just a big nerd. I've always been a big nerd. I've loved X-Men since I was a little girl. Obviously I love Storm. She was kind of like the first representation that looked like me that I got to see in comics. And X-Men, the franchise itself, has always been one of my favorites. I have not finished the newest X-Men 97.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so bad, but that's okay. I'm catching up.
Wait. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Raspberry. What am I calling you?
You call me.
Okay. Excuse me, Shantae. Look, man. We all look at Troy. Troy, I got my X-Men shirt on too, dog.
Right.
I had to. Like, if we talk X-Men, I'm gonna not put on an X-Men shirt. Like,
Right. So with that being said, have you seen X-Men 97?
Yes, every Wednesday morning. I work at 6 a.m., so I usually wake up around 4:35 and sit there with my bowl of cereal. Like, oh my God, it's crazy.
Understood. But believe it or not, I take my cell phone in the shower and I watch it in the shower while I'm getting ready for work. So I see it.
Yeah, because you got to get it in first thing. I can't spend the whole day wondering about the episode. Like,
right. I had to ask that, but Shantae, I want you to go ahead and finish your introduction, man. Tell us a little more about you. I know you for a long time. I know you've been a big X-Men fan, hence the Storm right there in the middle, right there. You want to show that off for the viewers?
My baby, I opened her up for everybody.
That is dope.
I love it.
I'm a little jelly. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I love her. I opened her up just for y'all. So that just know I love you. Okay. Yeah.
Got you. So when Troy get back, we're gonna get he got his books and everything up there.
Right.
Okay, I see you, Troy.
Yeah, I got comics and stuff.
You should hold up.
Yeah. Go ahead and
I wanted to.
you got a comic?
Well, yeah, I got a lot of them, but I wanted to show what I just got the other day. I don't know if you can. Oh, see, it's because of my background.
It's all good.
Oh yeah.
That's like one of the first.
I got my comics. I didn't even think to get my comics out the garage. I got mad comics. Like,
man.
Oh my God.
You got Funko Pop.
Yeah, Magneto. I just got this the other day for my birthday.
That's what's up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go ahead and tell the viewers about yourself and what you're about and what made you want to be part of the conversation, Troy.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, you probably didn't see my face. If not, don't worry, you'll see it soon because I'm everywhere. I'm pretty much a bit of a Renaissance man. You know, I do podcasts. I got a couple shows. I have a radio show, poetry books, my horror book right here, other stuff in the works. Just I love art, so I love to create. So that's really just like my biggest motivator. And outside of that, I fucking love X-Men. I have been like since for as long as I can remember. It was like first thing in Marvel that really pulled me in. Like,
right.
Spider-Man was cool, you know, Avengers was cool, everything was cool, but nothing like pulled me yet. And then it was like X-Men. I don't know what it was. I was just like, what is any of this? I need, and it might have been low key like the internal feeling of oppression. that we just naturally.
We don't get into that. Don't do that.
Right. But like either way, that was my shit. And I got the comic books. Like I've been reading the comics. I've played the games. Like I'm super X-Men knowledgeable. So I had to go ahead and join in.
Who's your favorite one? I know Shantae loves Storm.
Right.
Yeah, and like mostly because she said that already. I don't want to say it again because technically it would actually be Storm. Mm-hmm. But I'll go ahead and give it to my second place, Gambit.
Yeah.
Nah, see, that's my second. That's what I was gonna say because Gambit got the swag, man. Yeah. How can I say Gambit?
Yeah.
I take that back. Gambit is number 2 for me. My favorite, I have to give it to Bobby Drake. I love me some Iceman.
Yeah.
I love Iceman. Yeah. So question came up, where can I watch X-Men 97? Well, for the viewer who asked that question, all 10 episodes are streaming right now on Disney Plus. So
yes, they are.
You and Shantae can take time to catch up on Disney Plus.
right now. Yeah.
Yes, it's
But
so good. My God.
it's dope. It's dope. Especially, oh my God, I don't want to spoil it, but episode
Yeah.
5.
No, if
Episode
y'all
5.
have to spoil it, because people have already spoiled it. That's how I knew, like, okay, because I didn't want to get invested in it and get my feelings hurt again. Like, so I
know,
didn't
it's so
watch
worth
it.
it.
I didn't jump on it. And then people kept talking about it who weren't even X-Men fans, and they was telling me stuff. I'm still watch it and act like I never heard nothing about it. I'm gonna still be shocked.
Though, episode 5 is so good that when you watch it, even if people have told you about it, you're still gonna be shocked.
Yeah, so that's what I said.
That's
like,
honestly most of the episodes, I think.
Yeah. So, real quick, guys, I don't know if you guys ever seen or heard of the podcast, but what we're talking about today isn't really a normal conversation. The whole point of Conversation T-Horne Uncool is talking about uncomfortable issues. We talked about polygamy, we talked about homosexuality, we talked about religion, we talked about racism, we talked about the troubles of the youth today. So I know everybody's asking, like, how does the topic of the X-Men relate to what you're talking about? Because you're talking about real world personal issues. So when let's get into the conversation. I want to go ahead and list the conversation starters for the day to guide how the conversation is going to go. So the first one is, of course, we're going to talk about, like we've been doing already, the X-Men fanfare when it comes to the comics, the cartoons, the games, the movies, favorite characters, and so on. I'm going to take a good 25% of the show doing that. The second thing I want to hit is the X-Men historical references, because what a lot of people don't realize is that when comic book creators create their characters, they're looking at it like, oh, it's fantasy, it's not real, they got powers and they look like this, stuff like that. But they have to realize these people were referenced from somewhere or someplace or some point in history. So I want to talk about that. The third thing I'm going to talk about is the X-Men relation to the real world. Reason being is because a lot of people don't understand that, you know, with politics and with issues we go through today, that some of these stories are derived and can be actually direct mirrors to what's going on in the world today. And the fourth thing is what message is being sent subliminally through the comic. So we're going to hit those 4 issues, starting with what I started out with, the X-Men fanfare. So I heard you guys are big X. You know what? I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to give a shout out to somebody. So I don't know if you'll ever watch this, but there is one guy who I know for a fact is like the biggest X-Men fan. I watch him on YouTube. I even took a crack at trying to get him on the podcast, but he's so popular. I know he probably couldn't get on. But shout out to Rob from Comics Explained. That dude right there. If y'all go on YouTube, watch Comics Explained. He is awesome. I'm telling you, he is dope. And I said it like that because that's how he says it. Like, he is amazing. Like, if you guys watch him, his voice, the way he tells the stories, like, I don't collect comics anymore like I used to. But the only reason I know what's going on is because I watch Comics Explained on YouTube with Rob, and he keeps me up to date on everything. Like, I know everything that's going on with X-Men right now, from the past, the characters, everything, thanks to him. So if he ever gets the chance to watch this, I want to say, Rob, thank you for doing what you do, because you keep us birds on point, and we appreciate it. But that's what I was saying. I played the games. I've seen all the movies. I've read the comics. I have had the toys. So with that being said, I'm trying to think. When you think about X-Men, what's the first thing coming to your mind? For me, before X-Men 97 came out, it was always X-Men animated series. I think that's what really pulled me in.
Yeah.
The whole. That's what actually made me start liking comics. X-Men animated series, and even Spider-Man back in the day too. But X-Men was a big hit with me. That's the first time I seen like a superhero team on TV that wasn't the Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles that really caught my attention and stuff like that. And I think it really caught my attention was the Phoenix saga, when Jean went evil and turned to the Phoenix, stuff like that. That was the thing that really caught my attention the most. When it comes to the fanfare, what things catch you guys' attention the most?
So one of them, actually, I went to go grab my comics, is like the X-Men versus Avengers storyline.
Oh man, that's the old X-Men versus Avengers too.
Right?
Yeah, they've done that. Like, this is the very first time. Like, they've went against each other a few times, but like, it's the first thing I think about.
Garage and go get my books.
Right? I think about that because of I have like this big thing with crossovers. I've always just loved seeing more than one type of.
Yeah.
Oh, they got all of them together. How is this gonna work? And they always find a way. And I feel like whenever X-Men go against the Avengers, it just kind of highlights how trash the Avengers are.
It does. It's like everybody looks at the Avengers as like Marvel's go team, right?
Yeah.
Granted, they have the structure. I'm not gonna lie. Avengers do have
Avengers
as the leader. This guy. No, who's really trash? It's not the Avengers. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna move on. It's really the Inhumans. They're the trash ones. But we're gonna move on. The Inhumans are the real trash ones. But I digress. We're gonna move on. But the Avengers have the structure. I think the X-Men don't have the same structure as the Avengers and stuff like that, but they are more powerhouses on that team than the Avengers could ever have. Hey, Pastor Mary, how you doing? And that's shout out Pastor Mary. She's saying hey to us, y'all.
Hello. Hello.
But I think the animated series really started highlighting stuff for me because it's like when that cartoon came out, it's like one of those cartoons. Like I had certain cartoons I had to watch as a kid. And Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, and X-Men was like, those were it. I had to watch them on Fox Kids every day after I got home from school. It's a good one. Or on Saturday. Back in the day, they had Saturday morning cartoons.
I was going to say, back in the day, they did.
I don't do it now.
Say, real quick, because you mentioned the Phoenix Saga, too. I had to bring that one up, too. That's one of my favorites. Dark Phoenix.
Everything.
I love it.
This man got everything.
Right.
I'm telling you. It's a blurred and horror house. I love both.
And actually, you know what? That horror stuff, I didn't know that Cicada book behind you that you wrote. I saw your page earlier, but I didn't know that was actually a horror series. So at the end of the show, we get some information out. Like for real, man. I'm talking to a lot of authors lately, man. I'm about to get me a book written, like for real. Stop playing.
Hey, listen, we gotta do it.
I'm gonna do it. So another thing that came to my attention. I know there's been a lot of video games. I'm a real big video game head, but I remember back in the day. I don't know what system it was on. It had to be, I'm thinking PlayStation 2, and it was the X-Men Legends game.
Yeah,
where you like play with 4 people.
On GameCube.
Yeah,
it's on GameCube.
Well, I had it on GameCube. I don't know if it was only on there, but I had
it might have been on PS2. I can't remember. Don't quote me, but I remember playing X-Men Legends 2.
On GameCube.
Those were like the best games. And there was another one. Another one. It was an old school fighting game, but you fought with all the X-Men characters. It wasn't Marvel vs. Capcom like that. It was just the X-Men. It was just the X-Men characters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember right now. Hopefully somebody in the comments or comment later on and stuff like that and everything. But Shantae, don't be sitting there getting quiet, Mom. I know you.
Listen, I'm just taking it in because I'm loving it. So that's why I say, like, usually I'm the one fangirling. So it's just nice to boy with other people.
Man, boy.
I love it.
But I'm looking crazy. People just be looking at you like, all right, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Listen,
and then like I said, for me, I felt, again, like I was saying, there was no representation. I always say, if I ever get people, my conspiracy is that like Black women don't exist in society. If you look at movies and TV, we don't exist. It's like we ain't there. So like Storm being, just a woman of color, period, and just having women inside, the team that were strong, that protected them. Like for me growing up, that was just the thing, So like everybody else wanted, we had, like you said, Ninja Turtles. We had, Power Rangers and stuff like that. So it was always nice to like just see representation for women and then for Black women at that.
Right.
And she's a goddess too.
Like, and she's a goddess. She's the most, like, literally one of the most powerful X-Men. And that now, I got to play into that too, because the whole thing about Black people and us being gods and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. But speaking of Black representation, y'all probably gonna not like me for this because I'm all about Black superheroes. But since we on the X-Men, I can't lie, y'all. One X-Men I hate more than anything. I do not like Bishop. I hate Bishop.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, I don't hate. I can take or leave him. I don't like.
I feel like they. It's almost like they kind of typecast him. They do that like that's a big, strong Black man character. Like,
right. It's like in his power. somebody gotta use their power on him for him to even be able to use his power.
For him to even
Like,
work. Yeah, so
you store power up to blast back at people. It's like, bro, if I want to beat you, all I do is not use my power on you and I win. You know what I'm saying? Like, just punch him and he good. That's why he carried guns around, because he know for a fact.
And then of course he carrying the gun, right?
Right. But a black dude gotta carry the gun.
Yeah, like my point.
It's wild how the Blurred want to jump out and defend him, because I don't even care about him as a character. But I'm like, but no, wait, y'all, because that ain't that bad. Like, because I'm not gonna defend it. I'm like, no.
Like, it did good with Storm. I just wish they would give us a better representation of a black male X-Men character than Bishop. That's all I'm saying. I'm not hating.
They definitely could have.
Yeah.
Out of all the characters, they gave y'all one. Yeah, y'all could have.
Yeah. They did good with Storm. Now, but I'm saying that. I'm saying this. When you think about the X-Men, let's be real. Any X-Men fan, nobody's gonna say, "Oh, Bishop, my favorite X-Men." You don't really think about Bishop being on the main roster.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. Like, until I watched the episodes, I was like, "Oh, that's Bishop." Like,
right.
I had to pull my book out. I got the X-Men book with all the characters. I had to pull my book out to be like, "Let me go and
refresh
just read back
myself,
over him."
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's important to the story, but not really that important. He's like,
I mean, he's as important as Cable, so it's
kind
of like no difference.
Black
like,
Cable.
Literally. Yeah. And somebody pointed out earlier, I saw a tweet earlier, like, Cable has failed his only mission 200 something times. Like, you didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah, he did bad. Like,
yeah, that did.
Yeah. Like, everybody from the future, X-Men, everybody from the future trash. That's what we're gonna say.
They like never change the future. I'd always like, jeez. Well, you know what? Nexus point. So some of that shit is supposed to happen, I guess.
Okay, I stand the only person I can think of, not one future person that's like, oh, they boss. Like, ain't nobody everybody from the future trash. Because Apocalypse, Win, Ultron, there's an age of Apocalypse, there's an age of Ultron, there's an age of, like, everybody got some state, the Dr. Doom stay winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
the Hawk went crazy, man. Just went to the X-Mansion and just beat the hell out of everybody.
Right. Man, I don't know, it's crazy, man. So what do y'all think about the movies, though? Let's talk about the movies real quick. You got like 8 minutes out, then we're gonna get to the real nitty-gritty.
I mean, I was excited when they first came out with the movies with Halle Berry in it. What's his name? Who played Wolverine? I felt like they did the cast justice.
Hugh Jackman. Put some respect in that man's name. Hugh
Jackman. I know Hugh Jackman.
There we go. Yeah.
Still working. Like, my mind is gone. But like, I feel like they really did justice with the characters. I feel like they did justice with. A lot of people don't like Halle Berry in other films. I really love her as Storm.
I don't like Halle Berry as Storm.
I love Halle Berry.
I like as Storm. I felt like
it's because she wasn't written right though. Like, I feel like even when they changed the Storm,
because they played her like she was weak. Like, she really is contained rage, bro. Like, she really is. When they say black women
like,
be
if
mad,
she don't focus,
that's what she is. But she's contained, and she like I just I just feel like the ones that they could have played up, they didn't play up. That was.
I don't like either character they had played Storm. I don't like either one though, because I feel like they didn't do so. Because first of all,
they played the part where they like visually they looked the part, but like when it came to like playing them, and they just looked pretty.
Yeah.
They were written terribly.
I didn't feel like there's a girl from Cairo, Egypt, or Africa, nothing. I didn't feel like that. I feel like there was an American whitewashed girl who was playing Storm.
Yeah, because I said the same thing. I was like, wait, shit, that's Africa. Like, she don't look like, you know how they do.
But like, it's also the writing, because I always think about the very first movie when she shocked Toad. Like, do you know what happens to a toad that gets struck by lightning?
Same
thing that happens to everything else.
Famous line in movie history.
It's because they wrote her. Because Halle Berry's a great actress. Like,
she is.
If they wrote it better, she probably would have killed it. But like, they barely gave her. They didn't give her nothing to work with, so she's like, "Well, let me just make sure I try to look like her." Then
that's what I said. She was just pretty. Like, they just wanted her to be pretty. Yeah. Like, come on now. Like, she could have got a lot more in depth. Yeah.
So, real quick, guys, we got a question on the board. I said, "Do they bring back Professor Xavier? I miss him." Professor Xavier. So, for X-Men 97, you want spoilers? I'll give you spoilers if you want them.
Yeah, spoilers.
Professor Xavier never died, first and foremost. If you watch the whole X-Men series, he didn't die. He got sick. And what happened was he was sent away with that girl. He was had a thing for. I forgot what the race of aliens is called. Yeah, it was Lalandra. What's that race of people called? Do you know?
Damn, I forgot. It's like some bird type shit though.
Yeah.
But
long story short, Professor Xavier's in space. The new king of whatever them people is, because the Lalandra is like the queen and stuff like that, and they finna get married and stuff. But then episode 5 happened, which I'm not gonna spoil. And Professor Xavier is like, nah, I get back to my kids, man. Nah, I
gotta go home. I gotta go home.
Just be long enough. Let me go on back and get to him.
Right.
I was like, go.
He was gone. I was like, I know he's not gone for long, so I'm not even finna trip about it.
Is he with the Inhumans? Oh no, no. I'm answering the question right quick, y'all. Is he with the Inhumans? No. So just so you guys know, if you who are comment readers, the mutant species and the Inhumans do not like each other. So they're like the same, but different at the same time. Yeah. Both are advanced form of humans, but the humans don't really mess with the X-Men, let alone the mutants. Period. Actually, there's been times they've been at war in the comics and everything. So nah, he ain't with them. He with some other jacked up people.
They call it the Shi'ar. It's the Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to look it up. I'm like, no, I'm about to go crazy.
Are you one of them where like you think about something that's gonna bug you all day so you get the answer?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, because I know this. Like I know this. It's in there.
Right. So Professor Xavier does come back. Shantae, I gotta do a spoiler real quick.
I told you, go ahead and spoil it because I'm gonna still forget it and act like it didn't happen.
All right. So Troy, while you watch X-Men 97, right? What was the most shocking part to you in X-Men 97 that made you like, oh my god?
Which one? Right.
Well, if I could start, I know for me, it was when all the mutants were on the island of Krakoa.
Genosha.
I'm sorry, I'm getting comic books. So comic books, they're Krakoa in the comic books.
Hopefully they go to Krakoa in season 2 or something. But anyway.
Right. But when Genosha and all the mutants are celebrating, and then all those Sentinels come and wipe out the whole island of Genosha.
That scene is done beautifully. That scene was done.
That was the best scene in the whole show.
From the start with the Rogue and all them, like her and Magneto's dance, all the way to the ending.
Because that's when Rogue really let Gambit know, like, hey, you know, I love you, I care about you, but I'm gonna go roll with Magneto. And then as soon as she made that decision,
she realized, wait,
what the hell?
Actually, you know what? I
kind of had a feeling.
Never mind.
Just because of like when they first started, like that I don't know which episode. I think it was like the second episode, and he was like, "What if your team found out about us?" And she was like, "You got to keep that one in the bag." And I was like, "Wait a minute." Oh, this is what we doing?
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm telling people.
Comic book accurate though too.
That is comic book accurate, yeah. But that's why I'm telling people, they be like, "Oh no, we don't watch that. It's cartoons and powers and stuff." I'm like, yo, there are real stories and drama with this stuff.
It's like Wobbles Love and Hip Hop.
Right. It's like Love and Hip Hop, or like Power, or like these reality shows. It's just like that, just with powers and other stuff. That's all it is. But people don't get it.
Crazy.
Don't get it. Yeah.
I would say probably that might be my most shocking one. But like,
and the death of Gambit.
Yeah. I didn't want to. Okay, yeah, I was going.
I
don't want to say that out loud, but I guess spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Right.
They've been out long enough. They had plenty of time to watch it.
You're right.
Actually, I need to get me a Remember the Name T-shirt. I need to get me a T-shirt that says "Remember the Name" with Gambit on it, because that was a dope phrase he died with. The Sentinel had him, and he was like trying to read and see who he was, and he was like, "The name's Gambit. Remember the name." And he lit the whole Sentinel up and blew it up. Oh, like, that was dope.
Damn.
I'll say mine is another one. Rather is when Jean showed up at the end of episode 3.
Oh man!
And I knew it was her because she passed out.
The clone the whole time.
That's her. because like the implications of it, like that could have been, she could have been cloned back in like season 1 of the original show. There's a continuation. So like they ran it. Well, yeah, and they run into like Sinister like 3 times in the original show. So there's different moments that she could have been that we almost might not have seen the real Jean since the first season.
Yeah. You know what?
I was like, that's right.
This is like
Crazy as
this
hell.
is a sidebar, Troy. But when you say that about Jean being cloned, it makes you think about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how the Skrulls have been there, and how they cloned
Yes, yeah.
Rhodey, War Machine. We don't know when exactly the Skrull took over. You know what I'm saying? And like,
And Marvel, they got to do it right because they've been pissing me off lately. They like introduce too many elements and they don't know what to do with them, and it's like, get me in the room.
Yeah. I'll get them right. I'll tell you what to do with them.
All right,
because like they introduced so much, but yeah.
All right, so yeah, I got to put time out. I put time out on it. So we got to get into nitty gritty now. So the second conversation starter we're going to talk about is the historical references to the X-Men. So there are two historical references I want to point out. The first one, everybody know R.I.P. Stan Lee, one of the greatest dudes who ever lived, creator of Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and so many other great stories and comic heroes. But what I appreciated about him that a lot of people don't know, when you look at the struggles and the ideals behind Charles Xavier and Eric Magnus Ashir or Magneto, that I found out recently that those characters were actually based off of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Yep.
And I thought that was so cool because their personalities and how they face stuff are exactly as if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were acting, and it reflects back to the struggles of the Black community. And I thought that was great, like because that's X-Men. The story of X-Men is a mirror image of the struggles the Black community faces, and how people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X used to stand up for us and everything. Because Martin Luther King's more about peace, like Charles Xavier is, and Malcolm X is like, hey, it's all about us. Bump everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's about my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing up for my people and bump everybody else. You know what I mean? And he was a man of action too. You try us, you can get these hands.
Right. That went from both sides. He didn't care if you was human or mutant. If you was not with him, you was against him. So that's why I said, like, even with Professor Xavier, he felt like, okay, we're going to be peaceful. It's almost like he taught them to kind of like have sympathy for humans because like they don't know what they do. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, I feel like that's kind of like a biblical thing, like that, forgive them for they not know what they do. And it's like, we know they're not gonna fear us because they don't understand us. So you be peaceful. And I also think about just like, just Black people in general and just like kind of what we've been through. People will say like, imagine if we decided to get revenge, right? It would be crazy, but it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good because they've been looking for a reason forever to just wipe us off. So it's kind of like that with mutants. It was like he realized like they've been looking for a reason to just condemn us. So like we got to protect them, and even though they hate us, they don't trust us, we're still going to protect them, we're still going to love them, we're still going to show them sympathy and empathy. And Magneto was like, the hell with that. With that. Like if you want to fear us, I'm gonna give you something to fear. And I kind of, and like I said, like it was funny. I came up last night with my little notes and thinking like I was doing something extra, and I go look it up. I just go look it up, and why the hell that's the first thing that pop up, and I was like, well, I guess I wasn't as innovative as I thought I was. But I was like, that made sense. Like now I understand why I look at him and think like, okay, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and just how one was peace and one was for war. But it was all in the name of the betterment of mutants. But like, I mean,
Well, look at this. So somebody made a statement. So talking historical reference. Somebody said mutants are arrogant. So I disagree with that. I disagree with that in a big way because it's
they really could turn up. They really could.
They really could.
Magneto really could turn the hell up. Magneto used to be very constrained sometimes in what he would do.
Most of them are.
like they really could just act that. They really could. And
I'll say this. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, they're very arrogant.
Yeah, they are. But it's evil in every community. Yeah. So I feel like like Black people, you get a few bad apples and they, all of us are like that. When it's, it's bad people and all.
Yeah, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, the Acolytes, anybody who fought behind Magneto ain't no different from Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They were just doing, they believed in the principle of a certain fairness. Like, hey, we don't got to mess with y'all. Y'all ain't got to mess with us.
Yeah.
But y'all gonna treat us
exist.
But you don't respect us.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing as the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? When Malcolm X was doing his thing, he's like, "Hey, we don't got to mess with y'all white people or any other race. We just want our own and want to be treated fairly. That's it. But if y'all come at us crazy, y'all can get crazy 10 times harder.
Right.
Coming back. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I mean, that's like, I wouldn't say it's arrogant. I would say that's more like, you know, hey, knowing your worth and standing up for what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? You know for a fact that you're important. You know for a fact that anybody outside of you or different for you isn't going to treat you as important as you know you are. But because they're not going to treat you the way you want to be treated doesn't mean they have to degrade you or make you feel less. And you're not going to let them degrade you and make you feel like you're less. So you stand your ground on that. Like, hey, you believe what you believe, that's fine. You believe that we're not equals like that, but I'm telling you we are, and I'm telling you you're going to respect it.
Right. And it's having boundaries. It's having boundaries.
Mm-hmm. So it made me think about like when the guy, because I mean, really, a lot of it is also jealousy. Like two instances, like in the X-Men 2 movie, when the homeboy Iceman little brother found out he was a mutant, he gonna tell the police and shit. He was just mad because he didn't have no fucking power. Or like in the X-Men 97 show.
Yeah.
Like in the show, like the guy was like, "You don't know what it's like to be left behind by the future," and it's like,
yeah,
that sounds like jealousy to me. That don't sound like the legitimized hate to want to eradicate.
I mean, a
everybody
hater
like
ain't
you.
nothing but
Like,
somebody who just really loves you,
right?
Who really just want what you got. Yeah,
yes,
right.
That's really it.
That's it.
That's all it is.
So I want to say something real quick, and I want to say this because when my viewers watching, I don't want anybody to think this statement is racist or anything like that, but I have to be honest, it is facts. So when you talk historical references, I really believe that Stan Lee focused these struggles of the mutant population in his comic books off the struggles of Black people.
Yeah.
Not only because, you know, Martin Luther King and MLK, I mean, that's the same person. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are references to Charles Xavier and Magneto, but just the mutants in general. What mutants are the evolution of the human species. They are humans with exceptional abilities that most people don't have. I see they're putting the mutants in concentration camps. I see there's been episodes in comics where they're using the mutants for their abilities, like slavery and stuff like that. I know I've seen stuff where they just straight killing mutants off just because
they're scared of them. Yeah. I also feel like it's a way that he kind of showed how just foreigners in general are treated. Like, and it's funny because, like, again, we're as American as anyone else, yet we don't feel like it within America many times. So, like, and that's just kind of a weird thing. We're American, like we are, but you have people who come in from outside countries. They don't see us as Black. They'll see us as American first. But only in our country, our own country, are we, you know, made to feel like we don't belong here. Right.
Not only that, it's in like any race. Like, I'm gonna speak for Black people. I don't want to talk about any other races. I'm gonna talk about Black people because I know, because I'm Black. But
you are.
Yeah, you just found out.
What? You're like, wait a minute.
Black people in general, just like mutants, have exceptional abilities that most people, most other races don't have. You know what I'm saying? Not to put anybody down, because everybody can do certain things. Like, for example, you know, the level of creativity we have. You know what I'm saying? Not saying other races aren't creative, but you know, Black people are known for their creativity. They're known for their ability to play very well. They're known for their athleticism and stuff like that and everything. They're known for a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's a historical reflection to me because it's like we're the mutants of the real world. Because we look different, act different, we excel differently, all that stuff and everything. And it's like, for example, I told somebody the other day, we were talking about this same topic, and there's like how Genosha is like that one place for the mutants to be at peace and stuff like that and everything. And somebody say, "Yeah, you ain't know? We got Genosha right here." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "It's called Atlanta, Georgia." I was
No, when I first, like, really, when I first moved to Atlanta, it was just like, it was a culture shock for me. Just I think, just coming even from Jacksonville, like, you have some sides of town where you won't see anything but white people, and then you have certain sides of town where you see nothing but black people. You come here and like it's black all over. The doctors, the lawyers, the big houses, the little houses, the rich side of town, the poor side of town.
Go ahead and get their ass in Atlanta. Let them have that.
Yeah, like the crackheads don't even be black. They be white. So it's like, whoa, like, is this Wakanda?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Hey, man. Shoot, man. Hey, you made a good point there. Let me.
Like when I first visited Atlanta after being in Arizona for a few years, because I'm from Detroit originally.
Yeah.
But Troy, real quick, before you get into it, where you from anyway? I know Shantae's near the Atlanta area. I'm in Jacksonville. Where you at right now?
So right now I'm in Arizona. Phoenix.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
But like I'm originally from Detroit. I've been out here for about 9 years now. And after the first couple of years, which was a culture shock, because like you don't realize where you are is as dominant as it is. Detroit is like 98% black. Like I didn't notice because I just grew up there. So
I
came here and I was like,
oh, we got Detroit fans. Somebody said Detroit.
Yeah. And so like I was here for about 4 or 5 years, and I went and visited Atlanta, and I was like, oh, home. Like, I looked around, I was like, yes. Come to me. Yes.
So me and my wife are making plans to go to Atlanta because we hear something. Like, I've been to Atlanta, but I was like really into the church back in the day because my dad was a pastor, stuff like that. And with me doing Christian hip hop in the past, a lot of opportunities came up. So whenever I went to Atlanta, I will always be there for like a church event or something like that. And I'll do the church event. Shanti, you remember last time I came? I tried to link it with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I do the church event, and then the church was over. Then I go home. I've never got the chance to really come and experience what Atlanta is like, or see the sights, or even with me doing the podcast and doing my art, doing my music. Everybody who tells me about Atlanta, like, you need to go to Atlanta because that's where you
and being like you say, a blurred. Like this is like, again, having the interest that we have, it's kind of rare to find. Well, I don't think so much now, but I feel like
not so much now.
Yeah,
I feel that.
It's kind of rare to find other black people who was in alternative stuff, and you come here and like there's alternative, clubs, bands. They have Black Comic-Con. Like you really can find, like, if you like stuff like that, you really can find whatever you want to get into.
Mm-hmm. So I'm taking a trip out there. So me and my wife are already planning it and take a trip out there and see what it's like. I get her to Atlanta. She'll get me to Miami. I haven't been to Miami either. So
what? How you live in Florida?
Yeah, I know.
It's right there.
Well, no, I haven't been there yet. So
I mean,
on the list too.
I ain't gonna talk about Miami. I don't want them.
Let's stay on topic. Stay on topic, guys. Stay on topic.
Right.
Let's go on topic.
So, Shantae, you said you were doing some research and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, I don't know, like, to me, when I think about, like you were saying, when you think about X-Men and like you kind of see yourself in just the characters. They're not black, but I feel like you resonate as a black person, just what they go through. Just being seen, some of them look like, humans, but they're not treated as such when they find out that, oh, you're a mutant. And it's like us, we're human, but because we have darker skin or because our hair is different, our bodies are built different. We are treated differently, and we're the same as say they are. But it was just kind of weird to me that, like, I've always felt like, Professor X and Magneto were always Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So like, it's just funny that I was thinking about that last night. And then, like, I just happened to go look it up because I never did look up kind of the basis of where he got the comic from. And he actually fashioned it behind a lot of the civil rights issues that were going on back then. I think X-Men came out with 1963.
Yeah, way before we were born.
Right. So, but that's around the time, like, all that was going on. So it's just funny to me that, like, he made something that kind of, like, that really showed what we were going through in the world, but he did it in a way that wasn't so offensive. People didn't notice it was offensive because they're not necessarily black or white people. Right. They are mutants. They're fake people, but they're real problems.
I think the crazy thing about that situation is like, it's funny how society works, because you can see a comic, right, and see these issues, you fall in love with
and see the same thing we see. But then when we say it out loud, I don't see what you're talking about. Y'all need to stop playing victim.
Right. You have sympathy for comic book characters, but don't have sympathy for the same issues in the real world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yes, I remember that the slavery. Y'all still remember about slavery? It wasn't even y'all grandparents. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh my God. And
Like,
y'all riding around with they
but we still affected by it. God damn it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing that gets me, like the sympathy. Like you can tell even from us. Just going off of X-Men for a second. Let's talk about. I'm talking about Marvel in general. I know for a fact that when I saw Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame, those are two movies I said, you know what? No matter what, I have to go to the theater and see these on the first day.
Yep.
Because I had got so invested into the character.
Like that was our lives.
Right. From all the way from the first
Yeah.
Iron Man movie all the way to Avengers Endgame. There are so many stories, and I had got so invested and built. It's like I had built a relationship with the characters. You know what I'm saying?
These are my family members. Did y'all cry in the movie theater with everybody else? Did y'all cry in there with y'all family?
Oh yeah,
When
yeah.
the portals open up, I said,
touching each other.
Yes.
I didn't even know these people. I'm crying with you. We
Bro,
touching each other.
I'm in the movie theater high fiving people. Like, you know, so we've been friends forever.
yeah.
No, like my dad was crying. The dude next to me was crying. I was with my boyfriend at the time, and so he's crying. I'm consoling him. I'm consoling his girl. It was serious. It cured racism for a minute.
Right? Yeah. See, it did.
For a moment, we were all Avengers.
For a moment, we were all together. Yeah, everybody's on the corner.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So, aside from X-Men, the moment that got me. Cause I'm one of the people, I love hitting Easter eggs. I love connecting the dots and all that stuff. So I watch everything. My wife hates it, but I do it all the time.
See everything,
She's like, "What's an Easter egg? You mean like the eggs you find?" I'm like, "No, girl, it's a clue. It's a clue."
Clues. It's a clue.
Right. So the thing that got it for me from that movie, I'm gonna go back to the topic, but I gotta say this. The thing that got it for me was when in Avengers Endgame, Thor's hammer flew to Captain America. And I was like, I knew it.
Yeah. Everybody was just like, how did they?
Because it tied back to Avengers Age of Ultron all the way back when Captain America moved the hammer a little bit. And it was like, I ain't trying to stun on you right now. Right. But in the Avengers Endgame, it's like, I could have did this the whole time. I waited for this moment to really stun on you for real.
Yeah.
So it was like,
I really did. Like, I just wanted you to know. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but I just wanted you to know I really
I low-key passed out a little bit. Like,
you passed out?
When he was like, on your left, Cap, I said, oh, shit.
Oh, and said, I came back.
Oh, my God.
Lightheaded, weak.
I think that's the moment everybody cried because everybody thought Captain America was done. Like Captain America fought his whole army by himself, and then his people showed up.
He was
like,
gonna do it.
You know what?
He put that shield on, like fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
So listen. I'm see how this. So I don't want to skip, but this kind of relate to the relations to the real world today. In Avengers Endgame, well, it's not because it's not talking X-Men, but Avengers Endgame, the the moment where everybody came back at the end to fight in the war against Thanos was the equivalent of the Montgomery Brawl.
That's you getting jumped, right?
Yes, because they just started coming out of nowhere.
Getting jumped, and your big brother show up. Your
cousin
show up. That was
the comic book Montgomery Brawl. It was Captain America by himself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like everybody showed up and helped Captain America and kicked butt. I'm telling you, that was a Montgomery Brawl for comics. That's what it was.
When they threw that chair up, the chair was thrown up when they start opening up them portals.
Right.
The one guy who was swimming with whole ass boots on. Homie had on boots. He swam across that shit. I said, oh. Yeah, this is
so I gotta do what everybody else do when they come to the Montgomery Brawl real quick. I gotta shout out that dude that swam across the water.
Man, listen, that's a real, and that's why I say a black Aquaman. He really is a superhero. That's Aquaman. That really was a superhero. Like he really
Aquaman.
And y'all know we don't even do water like that. We don't even do unknown water like that. That man jumped in.
Right.
You imagine you out beefing with someone and somebody jump into St. John's River
and swim across.
Like nobody's doing that for you.
Right. Ain't nobody coming.
Nobody's doing that.
He probably literally never did that shit a day in his life, and it's just something just.
He just was like, I'm doing it.
You know what it was? He got his mutant ability.
His mutant power.
X-Men that day. That was his mutant power.
He was outside the last apocalypse.
Only black man that can swim comfortably.
When the last eclipse came through, he got his powers. We didn't get him.
He got his powers.
Maybe we don't know we got him, but he definitely got his that day.
Yeah,
we need to go find out.
Oh, we got it because we got black telepathy. Bro, to hop back on the last thing, black telepathy. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
it's just there.
So real quick, guys, we kind of skip time into the next topic: X-Men relations to the real world. So let's get serious for a second. So
immigration laws.
Registration law. Speak on it. Speak on it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say immigration laws for today. For right now, immigration laws, like just not even so much immigration laws. I say immigration period. Like, and that's why I was saying, like, not just black people in America, but foreigners in America. If you don't fit the stereotype, if you don't fit what we do here, you don't dress, don't talk, don't act like we do here, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oppressed people.
It's
a story for anyone oppressed, basically.
Yeah.
Gay people.
They're they're trying to find a reason to hate you, even though you don't give a reason. You're just trying to be a good person and live the American dream.
You're trying to exist.
Right. But they don't like you existing. How dare you exist? They don't want you to exist. And that's how I feel about mutants. They see them existing, minding their business. We saving y'all asses. I'm sorry.
Oh, hell no.
We saving y'all.
Family show, ma'am.
I'm sorry. We're saving their butt. And we're saving y'all. And y'all hate us and still talk about us, don't trust us, and say we're bad people, and we saving y'all. I don't understand. That's how I feel about people who come here. They work these jobs. Nobody else wants to work. They do their work every day. They send their money home to the families in their countries. They mind their business. And it's somehow you're a criminal. You're this, you're that. You're stealing our taxes. Like, and that's why I said it brings me back to the fact that we've been American citizens, but we're still treated as we're not. Oh, go back to where you came from. We came from here.
I come from there.
The equivalent of that, what you're saying, is like the X-Men saving the world every day and still being hated. Is the equivalent of black people coming into slavery and building this country up off their backs
and acting like it didn't happen. We gonna pretend like that never happened. Y'all just want to hand out. How dare you extra reparations?
Yeah, right.
It's like them changing our stories and changing them, like how they trying to change the world.
That never happened.
Stories.
Slavery was a y'all.
That's not what happened.
Right.
Yeah. It made me think of the other part about the oppressed, like just overall how it's aimed at oppressed people. Because like when X-Men 97 first came out, there's like Morph, because obviously he can change into anything. They just made him, a mold essentially, so he can be man or woman at any time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course,
I thought that was very interesting.
A character who can do that, but it's like, why? That makes sense. He can literally be a man or a woman, so why not? You know what I'm saying?
So I'm sorry, Troy, real quick, to piggyback what you just said before I forget, I'm gonna let you continue. But from reading from the guy who made X-Men 97, they actually made that was a point they wanted to make. They wanted to relate to the real world, so they made sure that more in the last X-Men, you know what I'm saying, he showed his face and stuff like that, but now he has a more of an a gray. Basically, be anything. Yeah. They actually made him bisexual and made him, I don't know the actual term, but identify as a male and a female for real life relations in the show. So I thought that was very interesting. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because it makes sense, because he can be anything. So why not? Like, it's not like they did it to Wolverine or Gambit. Technically, Wolverine and Scott and Jean got a whole thing, but
we ain't gonna talk
either way, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't change that one of the main characters. They changed a character that made sense to do that too. And it's like there's the discourse with that of like, people saying, "Oh, X-Men is too woke." You must not know what the fuck X-Men is. One, you're using woke wrong. But first time you're using woke wrong. But that's the whole point of X-Men in general since it was created to highlight the oppressed people and like how hard it is to just want to exist. Like that's
and just saying oppressed people. They swear that's like all of a sudden like being oppressed is like all of a sudden a woke thing. Like y'all, they just.
That's so not how to use the word. It makes my stomach
at all. They have taken the word and made it something else. Stop using excuses and learn to be free.
Yes.
That struck a nerve with somebody. Look at her. They struck a nerve.
I've been looking at
I don't know what it's in reference to.
Right.
I don't want to like.
You know what they told me when you at work and you want clarification. Can I get clarification on what you mean?
Please advise.
Mr. Barlow, go ahead, get clarification, sir. Get clarification.
I would like to know who's the one using excuses to learn who needs to learn to be free.
So I think the question is, Or is that applied towards the people having the conversation, telling us to stop making excuses or learn to be free? Or is that implied as a comment that's made toward people? You know what I'm saying? That telling us to stop excuses. So this is a clarification. I'm pretty sure
about free if you're trying to eradicate me and my people every goddamn day.
Mm.
Like I'm just trying to go to the. It's like Jubilee. Jubilee probably is traumatized by malls. Every time she goes to a goddamn mall,
that was the first episode of X-Men, right? Wasn't that the first episode they tried to get out of the mall?
Yeah.
It's like all I'm trying to do is shop and
that was it. Right. I seen that episode. Like that's all she's trying to do, and can't even do that.
So another real life reference that I wanted to relate was what's the boy name? Roberto. What's his name? Sunspot.
Yeah.
Sunspot. So obviously he was a mutant. And he had awesome power. He has awesome powers. He's dope. I read him in the comic books. He's dope in the comic books. But I didn't know until I saw X-Men 97 that he was ashamed of being a mutant because he was rich and he was popular and stuff like that. Yep. He wanted to fit in the human crowd, so he did certain things to hide his mutant ability and stuff like that. That relates.
Talk about just being foreign in a country where a lot of first generation. They like their second generation family that come here with them, the kids, they kind of are embarrassed and they don't want to, or even the first generation will teach them, don't speak that language here. We're changing your name. You want to look more Americanized or European, Mm-hmm. So even I think about that, like they said, like I'm, he was talking in one of his episodes, like I'm not a bad guy. I just feel like that kind of idea of like thinking that you don't want to even be who you are. Yeah, you don't even want to be who you are. I'm trying to assimilate right now. And if that's not the story of us and everyone else who doesn't look like what they consider American, I don't know what it is.
It's like code switching at work.
Code switching, big time. You want to code switch.
Right. So we're going to continue. We're going to hold right there. I'm going to continue that part of the conversation, but we got to take a quick break. So you guys take time, get refreshed, use the bathroom, all that good stuff and everything. And when we come back, we're going to continue on this conversation and hit the fourth conversation starter. With that being said, this is my conversation with T-Horne the Uncool. We talk about the X-Men, and can we get back to it when we get back? All right.
If you or someone you know needs help coping with depression, anxiety, or PTSD, overcoming low self-esteem, or managing major life transitions, we invite you to schedule a free consultation call for telehealth clients. Shekinah Downs, licensed clinical social worker, is now accepting new telehealth clients. In the office, too. Schedule a free consultation by calling 386-385-4483. That's 386-385-4483. In the brand new Daytona Beach office as well. 50 to 60-minute individual therapy sessions and a variety of insurance plans are accepted. Couples therapy and coaching is coming soon. We invite you to log on to cjaqis.com. Schedule a free consultation by calling 386-385-4483. That's 386-385-4483. I am in my happy place, and I've got Georgia on my mind. Save the date. It's time to shine at the 8th annual Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar and Weekend Retreat. Join us September 19th through the 22nd, 2024 in historic St. Mary's, Georgia. A fundraiser for the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, spreading awareness and acceptance. Follow us on Facebook, Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. Our host hotel this year is the Shore Stay Plus by Best Western, St. Mary's, Cumberland. Weekend retreat activities include the Friday Fun Photo Shoot, picnic lunch back at the hotel, and the Royal Blue Beauty Bazaar Fashion Show takes place on Saturday. For more information, call 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519. I'm in my happy place. Come join me.
Hey folks, well, I got one more testimony I want to share with you. Identity theft. Look, I know a lot of people have a lot of programs out there, but our program goes a lot further than most. See, most people think identity theft, they think of credit. Credit is the easiest thing you can solve. But you got to ask yourself is, what else are they not telling me? I'm going to tell you what they're not telling you. It's called criminal identity theft. We had a young lady who was going to apply for a college loan. She said, sir, when I was 18, I'm 19 now, I went to go apply for a loan. And they told me I had 2 cars, a house, and a boat in my name. And they told me they denied me. I had to get it fixed. She spent countless hours. I don't know how much money she spent on an attorney, but had she had our services, she would have been notified immediately, right? That's on that side. Then you come talk about character and criminal. I know a gentleman that went to jail twice last year. Now he's thinking, hey, the cops are going to solve it. They're going to take care of it. It's going to be easy. It's going to be, everything's going to be good to go. He thought he was just going down there for 3 hours. That means he spent 3 days. 3 days in jail for a crime he didn't commit while the cops decided to solve it. See, had he had our services, he would have been provided with a licensed private investigator. They would have had to sign a limited power of attorney. And then at that point, they would have went to work on his behalf where he wouldn't had to have dealt with that. And because he had the legal plan, the attorneys went and got his name cleared in a matter of 3 weeks, when it normally takes 2 years to clear up. I'm just sharing with you, our services makes a world of a difference. You don't have to feel vulnerable. And we're ranked #1 by Forbes several years in a row. So if you're going to get something, you're going to spend your money, let's work with the best. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for listening to me.
until you know me. Don't underestimate me until you challenge me. And don't talk about me until you talk to me. Or better yet, mind your business and stop minding mine.
Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep.
Yo, what's up, man? It's T-Horne the Uncool, and welcome back to Conversations with T-Horne the Uncool. Today's topic is the truth in the X-Men. So, over the break, I was sitting talking with my wife, who is not a black nerd in any possible way. Like, me and her couldn't be any different when it comes to that topic. And I came to a realization talking to my wife that I want to correct real quick. I asked her, I said, does it sound like the conversation is going like it's supposed to go, as we're talking about, real life issues, historical references, and issues we face today? And she made it very clear. She's like, hey, I hear you talking about that stuff, but to me, it sounds like comic book talk, because I can't really relate to, what you're talking about, because I don't know anything about the comic. I don't know anything about the show. I don't know anything about the movies, nothing like that and everything. I mean, she saw a couple movies, but, she wasn't really into it like that. I brought that up for a reason. The point is, there's always a message in anything that's put out there in media, whether it be through music, whether it be through TikTok videos, whether it be through comic book stuff, video games, stuff like that and everything. And sometimes because, and this is no shade towards my wife or anything, but sometimes because if we're not interested in certain things, sometimes we can prejudge stuff and missing out on the messages that come in that. Because granted, my wife is who she is, not who I am and everything. But because I'm so interested in the comic books and the anime and the superheroes and stuff like that, I'm able to see things and perceive things that, most people wouldn't be able to see, because they're blind to things like, oh, it's a cartoon, or, oh, it's not real, or it's just something made up fantasy and not into that. You know what I'm saying? You can't relate to it. But the whole point of this conversation is to show that you actually can, if you take the time to look between the lines. You feel me? So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring my guests back on the screen so we can continue our conversation and stuff like that. And hopefully we can get to a point where we make this thing a little more relatable for everybody. Welcome back, guys. How y'all doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
So I don't know if you guys right backstage or heard what I said. Me and my wife were having a conversation. And I was asking her, I was like, how do you feel about the conversation? She's like, it really, to me, sounds like y'all just having a bunch of comic book talk. And I'm just like, man, we didn't talk about all
That's
this.
how we get blurs get together. I mean, that is how it gets. But I do understand, and that's why I was saying, like, how you were saying, like, you have to speak, and I'm just happy to be amongst people who kind of get, who kind of get it. Otherwise, it does sound like you're just speaking about anime. They'll be like, oh, I don't like anime, and it's like, well,
sure,
it's not. But,
right.
But it could be the same as, like, you and your wife talking about, I'm trying to think of something, girl. We could be talking love and hip hop, right? Or stuff that men don't really necessarily like. We'll be all into the drama, and you might not like it or understand it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get to kind of understand the tone of what they're doing, because to you it might just be like, oh, this is stupid. Like, they ain't doing nothing but drama. So I do understand that.
It's just funny you say that, because love and hip hop, Real Housewives, no, but I did get into a show that my wife really loves, and I've watched every season of it. I got so into it. I'm pulled in. We watched Love is Blind. Love is Blind.
You know what? The first and second season I was cool. After that, I don't feel like they can recreate the magic.
Mm-hmm.
The magic, like, that was magic right there. It's like they it's kind of like, now people know what the show is, so it's gonna start going into a whole other direction. Just like the first Love and Hip Hop season, speaking on that, was good. You know what I'm saying? And
the first one, like, every different city, the first one is good. Then after that, you get the feel. Like what you said, some of those shows aren't meant for long term.
But look at this. Look how we're talking about the whole Love is Blind thing. It actually ties into what I was saying earlier. We were talking about, relation to the real world. You get so, like, the reason you watch the show is because you get so invested in the characters and who they are and the struggles they're going through, and you can relate. Like you say, girl, he lied to you. I've been lied to too. Not understand. You know what I'm saying? You relate. You know what I'm saying? This is the same thing with the X-Men characters. Like you see these characters going through these struggles and stuff like that, being persecuted, being put in concentration camps. You know what I'm saying? Being treated like they're less than.
Oh shit.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, though, people put so much emotion, blurs, people watch the movies, people just get into the characters, put so much emotion into that. But at the same time, those same exact issues are happening in the world to Black people, to people of the LGBT community, to anybody that's different from the status quo. And when it comes to the real world, why is it such an issue for that same sentiment and those same feelings to be reflected in the real world as it is in the fictional world?
Because I never understood. They like to pretend like they don't see stuff that they don't agree with.
It's like with the show X-Men. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Troy.
No, I was saying, no, that's it. I was agreeing with what she said. Like that's exactly it.
They
see what they want to see.
They know it's wrong, but because like it doesn't, like you say, it doesn't affect them, or it's something that they don't agree with. I'm gonna act like it doesn't happen. Or I don't know if y'all discussed it on the show about homosexuality.
Oh, we did. I had a 2-part series, 2 episodes on it actually.
Right, because people will sit there and act like the things that happen to people who are homosexual don't matter because, well, you shouldn't be living in sin anyways. Is that what God would want? No, that's not what he would want. That's not the story of what he wanted. It was supposed to be love, like, love that neighbor, regardless of what you like, whether you believe in what they believe in or not. So I do feel like that kind of that ties into the mutant story as well. Like, okay, I might not agree with what they're doing. I might not like you as a person, but I can treat you as a human. I can love you as a human. You
deserve to exist.
Like you said earlier, like they be hating people just for existing. People just be existing, and I feel like that's how it is with mutants. They don't even be doing nothing. They just exist and they have powers, and people don't like that. I don't like that. I don't have powers.
We can dance our ass off. Motherfuckers be mad at that.
Right.
Motherfuckers over there dancing.
But look at this comment by Marcus. Look at this comment by Marcus Latimer. He says, historically, when Black/mutants show their strength through education, when we are unable to separate and stand on our own, the government uses its power to destroy our accomplishments. For fear that we will treat them the way they treated us. So let's reflect back for a second. Let's go back. Talk Magneto. I love Magneto. One of the greatest villains / heroes ever to exist. But let's look at his backstory. For those who don't know, Magneto is like the main antagonist, the main villain of the X-Men, and stuff like that. But he's our Malcolm X character. Reason he's so important is because when Magneto was young, first of all, he's Jewish. His character is Jewish, and when he was a young boy, he was in the concentration camp that Adolf Hitler set up. And I thought that was a great way to play on his story because the reason he feels so adamant and so, Malcolm X, is because he has been through the struggle and been through, the heartache and stuff like that, has seen his parents be killed, has seen his people be chastised and persecuted. So now that he has, quote unquote, freedom, you know what I'm saying? He wants to use the power he has now to make sure it never happens to his people again. Now, I understand that from Malcolm X standpoint, because Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying, he didn't go through anything. I mean, he was thrown in jail, you know what I'm saying, for the reasons of, I guess they say he was messing with a white woman. I don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I did see the movie. Shouts out to Denzel. But, he went to jail a little bit, and, when he got out, his thing was, my Black people, my people can't keep being treated like this. So I have to stand up for that. You know what I'm saying? And I just love how they played on that, not only from the Malcolm X standpoint, but from the quote me. What was it called? That time frame. What was it called? The
Civil rights?
Holocaust.
Holocaust.
He played off the struggles of Black people. And he played out the
Holocaust.
Strong standpoints where people being mistreated and treated unfairly, and use that to make such a
just for existing.
Right. And people who are just hated on and persecuted and killed just for existing, just for being somewhat different from the status quo. And that's the real world today that people don't even realize. Like today, we're treated differently and persecuted because we're a little bit different. It doesn't matter the color of our skin. It doesn't matter our sexuality. It doesn't matter our religious backgrounds or beliefs. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, we're all human beings.
Said.
So, question though.
Oh, no, I'm saying what Trick Daddy said.
He said Trick let a kid.
No, when he had, okay. And again, he had a song, and he was like, real. "You're still a, so yeah, you're driving in a Benz, you got money, you have a degree, you're still yeah. You feel me?
Okay. So are you guys trying to say N-word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys remember? I grew up in a Christian house, so I didn't listen to a lot of hip hop back in the day.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Got you.
But yeah. I can see you ain't been to Miami either, so you wouldn't even. You see, you got to go to Miami. You would know these things.
I mean, I've been to Japan. That's better than being in Miami, ain't it?
It might be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it might be.
Troy, you had something you were trying to say earlier. What were you trying to say, man?
Yeah, no. So I was gonna say, in relation to that, like today, it's just a conversation I have with people in general. Like, do you think it's worse now? Because obviously they've always hated us, but I have an idea that I think it's always been terrible. It's just now we can see.
We can see it. We can see it.
Yeah, like before living in Detroit, I knew what happened that night in Detroit. I didn't know what happened that night in Minnesota and fucking Texas and like Florida. Like, because imagine how much worse it was when we couldn't have this much access.
Yeah. And like I said, there's still times you can't even go into at night. And here in Georgia, people talk about Atlanta, but outside of Atlanta, it don't look like Atlanta. So I always tell people, like, you don't want to get stuck in certain parts of Georgia outside of Atlanta.
Right.
But I think I don't know if it's necessarily worse, but like I said, we just have more access to it. But I think things like that, seeing stuff like this, having grown up, in my opinion, has helped a generation. Like there's a entire generation of us that can still, like, a lot of it unfortunately does come from older generations and stuff like that. Like it's not as much of us as it is, the previous generation. So it's like I think having things like the X-Men and stuff like that has kind of helped that over time. Like just you know what I'm saying, like just with the connection and understanding that people deserve to exist and breathe, like, and just stand there if they want to, or just be
different. So
without being embarrassed and without,
Quick question. I want to make sure that the guests are being acknowledged in the conversation. Somebody asked, how can my nephew get paid from all this black nerd stuff? Man, let me tell you this. Black nerd is all the rage right now. All the rage.
All the rage.
So there's so many ways. I'm going to list a few, and I'm going to let you guys chime in. First of all, you can do like this. Do a podcast. Talk about black nerd stuff and everything like that. I see my son, they've been making these little TikTok videos where they get the comic book characters and the scenes and clash them together. I think the best way for me personally, though, in my opinion, is not only make yourself a social media presence, but the Comic Cons and the cosplay, stuff like that.
I was gonna say, doing stuff cosplay. Like cosplay is really big. If you can like fund his materials for making outfits.
Shante, real quick, because the person who is asking this question, I can tell by how they ask the question, they probably don't even know what cosplay is. Can you explain what cosplay is?
So if he has a favorite character that he loves,
but they like that. They say, explain cosplay. See?
Right. If he has a favorite character that he loves, giving him the materials to say make that outfit. So if he loves Ninja Turtles, he could, make a Ninja Turtle outfit. If he loves,
costume.
Yeah, he can, make a certain costume. And people love stuff like that. And he can do, a TikTok, or he can do some type of something showcasing that outfit or how he made it. I've seen people do that. They showcase how they make their outfits and how they make certain, swords. And there's one girl she has a sword collection. She started out doing that, and now she's selling like outfits now. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she's like really big and pretty black girl, and she does she has like the samurai swords, and now she has a whole that she's selling online.
I know a big thing.
I'll say
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, from like a artistic standpoint, it's also like actually writing,
There you
or
go.
drawing
There you
some
go.
of it, doing graphic
Yeah.
design for it. Like there's always and it's growing. Like how we mentioned, the blur community is growing. So it's like,
Yes.
there's black anime like companies trying, starting up, and like black comic book lines. So it's like,
Yeah.
from an artistic standpoint, you can write, you can create visuals, stuff like that.
I know me personally, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've always wanted to write a book or something like that, but I didn't want to start anything too big. But I wanted to create a series, so I'm actually going to start doing children's books.
Yeah.
Based off,
I mean, if Troy's the author, then why aren't you the illustrator?
This is the thing. See, this is why these conversations happen, for connecting and networking.
I want to do a black comic book.
Yeah.
I've had the stories since I was in high school. Like, I just can't draw.
Exactly.
We connect outside of this. For real.
Yes.
Man, listen. So much happening in my life right now. Opportunities dropping in my lap. So I'm ready. Hey, you drop in my lap, you pick it up and work with it.
You ain't got to worry about what's going on. Troy gives you what he wants you to draw. You bring it to life. You bring it to life.
Some stories too. I'm a critic. I love writing too. I write music and stuff like that. So Troy, we don't have to connect on the outside tip. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you
can make you can do a CD.
Always down to create.
You can do the CD with the illustrations to his story, like Logic did.
So we do a CD comic books.
Yeah,
comic books with soundtracks.
Yeah, because
that's what made the theme song too. Like
Logic did that. Logic made a whole CD to a book he wrote, and it was actually a really good book.
I know talking about, I rock
Supermarket.
Logic. Logic. You know what I'm saying?
So just how she was saying he could write it and she could market it. Yeah.
But Malachi said he can make
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Malachi Steele, man, because I know he got a lot of business he do. So I actually supposed to get him I need him on the podcast one day. We'll talk about it later on, though. One more thing. To answer that question, if you look behind me, I can't really. You know what? I'm gonna do something I don't usually do, real quick. So this right here, bringing it down. Sorry to bring it down. Is a painting I did called Lucky Number 7. The reason it's called Lucky Number 7, if you can tell, that's a painting of Andre 3000 and Erykah Badu. They were a beautiful spiritual couple, but they ended up having a child named 7. The reason that the painting is called Lucky Number 7 is because even though Andre 3000 and Erykah Badu are not together anymore, they still promote positive co-parenting. So I'd say, wow, for them to be still doing positive co-parenting, 7 is very lucky. So that's what the painting Lucky Number 7 came from. I brought that up because I have my own business that I need to really get to work on and do more work with, called Anime.Shiki, where I paint paintings based off Black culture. Anime.Shiki is dope, right? It's based off Black culture, anime culture, and comic culture, and all my paintings are based off that. So I sell paintings or artwork based off the fact that I'm a Black nerd, Black culture, anime, comics, stuff like that. And I use it to create my art and everything. So there are plenty of ways, being a Black nerd, that you can use your creativity to your advantage. You just have to put your mind to it and do it. That's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that was we just really, I hope it sounds like really inspired somebody with that one. You feel me?
I make money off of no facts. If you can monetize what you love, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Right. So back, okay.
Let's go watch a bunch of X-Men episodes. I'll do that anyway.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Now we talk about X-Men and stuff like that, but it's crazy. There are people who literally make money off of watching movies, TV shows, and just getting on here and doing reviews and talking about it like we're doing now.
Just reacting to it. Yep.
Right. Yeah, literally people who read comic books. Like, for example, I also shout out again to Rob for Comics Explained. All this guy does is read comic books, take those same comic books and talk about them on YouTube, and it's getting paid. Straight paid.
Big paid. I tell my kids this. The little boy, I can't think of his name, but the little boy who be playing with all them toys. And he's got his own toy line now. He's a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I tell my kids about this, and I say, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. Okay, because why is he out here with $1 million toy line, and y'all in here messing up my kitchen. Y'all got to do better. You have to teach your kids this. You got to, okay?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to
gotta
retire
do
us,
better.
right? We
I
didn't
love
do
it.
what we were supposed to do when we were supposed to do it, so we have to teach them to do what they're supposed to do.
Do it sooner. Yeah.
Right, do it sooner.
Right.
Start saving for your house now.
So Angie B, my producer, she got in there. I think she said she wanted to be a comic book character. Angie B said she wanted to be a comic book character.
What's your superpower? We got to give you a superpower. Or are you gonna be a super villain?
So this is the thing though with Angie B. I know Angie B personally. She's my producer. I just met her for the first time. I did a show in St. Augustine, and I met her. And if anything, she could go kill me for this, but I would make Angie B a super villain.
Right?
I really would.
No, the good people need to be super villains because they make the best.
I really would, but the thing is, though, in real life, she's so sweet, man. Unless you like the super villain thing, but she's so sweet in real life. But it's just the fact that she's really on this. She on boss mode, and majority of the times people on boss mode, they villains. I can see her.
They come off.
Angie, when you get a chance, look up Amanda Waller. Look up Amanda Waller.
Oh,
from DC Comics.
Okay.
If you were made to a comic book character, you would be somebody like Amanda Waller. So when you get some free time, Google Amanda Waller, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying AGB ass. You know what I'm saying?
Going to work and saying that to people is funny because nobody else understands. So like I could go to work and I'll be like, oh, I'm on my Amanda Waller, and like they'll laugh, but they don't get what I'm saying.
Hey, wait, somebody's on Suicide Squad. Somebody know who you're talking about.
They'll be like, oh, okay, no, I'm on my Amanda Waller right now, so I'm gonna need y'all to do what y'all supposed to do. So
right.
That's funny.
When I meditate, I say I'm on my Doctor Strange. Like I'm on my Doctor Strange right now, y'all.
You gotta do all the hand motions. Yeah.
You know what? This is
my
a conversation. But if I had to relate myself to a comic book character, because I always relate myself to Spider-Man, because Spider-Man are all the girls, but Spider-Man is always broke. And I'd be like, dang, I'm broke all the time.
I'm the neighborhood Spider-Man. No.
Yeah, but everybody loves Spider-Man. Right. Except for that one dude who just hating on him. Jonah just hating on him all the time.
The one guy.
That one guy.
No reason. Like, why are you hating on this man? You hating on him, killing his family members. Why are you hating like that?
Right.
Like, they really, he really be trying to help them, and they be hating on him so bad.
First thing in the news, Spider-Man is terrorizing your neighborhood.
Spider-Man literally saved the day, and the newspaper says Spider-Man left a brick on the sidewalk from the debris. He's a menace.
I can't wait to get a picture of him. Get a picture of him right now. Like they really just be doing the most for him.
It's got you. So, real quick, guys, before we get too far off, let's go to our fourth conversation starter. Let me go back and read it myself. Hold on 1 second. It says, what message is being sent subliminally through this comic? What do y'all think? I'm going to let y'all go first.
It's okay to be different.
I'm going to say, I don't know if it's subliminal, though. Because I was going to kind of say that one. I don't know if it's
I don't think it's subliminal.
That's a right in your face message.
People going to hate on you. People going to hate on you. Be you. People going to hate on you. Still be you. And be a good person.
Well, the reason I say subliminal is because when it comes to stuff that like the comics and the cartoons, stuff like that and everything, normal people, I would say, don't see anything but the fighting and the action and the powers and this and everything, not really knowing there's something being said in between the lines you're not catching. And that's one thing I always liked about the X-Men comic book and the X-Men series, period, is because, we got the fantastic powers, we got the big bad villains, we got all that stuff and everything, but at the same time, there's a real world message in this. Yeah. And that's what the reason a lot of people are like that ask the question, why did T-Horne do this topic? Because I feel like X-Men is everything Conversation with T-Horne and Uncool is about. You know what I'm saying? The persecution, the misunderstanding, the not trying to understand, because in the X-Men comic book and the series and stuff like that, nobody's trying really, there's a very few people, but the majority of mankind, nobody's really trying to understand who the mutants are, what they're about, or even getting the chance to be like, okay, you guys are us. All I see is you're different.
You're different.
Better than us.
We don't fear you regardless.
Right, we fear you because you like drive to the
no matter what you're doing, it don't matter how you say it. Yeah.
But that's
somebody had said something about I thought they came up with the cure, and that was
it was never a real one.
Yeah. It wore off. Go ahead, Troy.
Yep. I was gonna say, I guess, like I was really trying to like think about it. I think the subliminal message that's in there would be to, I don't know how to, I guess, put it. Basically, just mental health, like really taking care of your mental health, because you can lose yourself. Characters like Jean, you know what I'm saying, who lost himself to powers. You can have shame and guilt like Storm, and literally block out your abilities, like, you know what I'm saying, with that, with having so much. I think, I think an underlining message is mental health. There's a lot of the characters that go through different, you know, like Nightcrawler, his issue that he had with religion, and like his power, like every character has some kind of mental something that they have to like overcome. Essentially,
see, now you're gonna make me go into this whole thing. No, after answer, because what y'all think about Black Adam? Well, Black Adam's a DC.
It was there.
Yeah. It was the movie. Are you talking about just Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah. The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
It was there.
No, Black.
The movie was okay, but I didn't smell what he was cooking. So
at all.
Not at all.
And I hate that because I love The Rock and everything he does.
I like him as the character. They just didn't do it.
They be pissing me off with everything that they do for us. Like, they be having good characters, and they will just kind of.
But real quick, aside from the Black Adam thing, I wanted to piggyback off what Troy said. The mental health thing, that's actually something I didn't take into consideration, but it's so deep when it comes to the conversations like these, because when you break down each character and what they're going through. Like, for example, you said Jean, losing control of her mind. Storm, not only going through the guilt and so that, but also, you know, she deals with what is it? She's claustrophobic. Claustrophobic. Cyclops dealing with the fact that he's in love with this woman, but he knows his woman's in love with another man.
The man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got Wolverine, a man who has his jacked up bad past and has joined the X-Men team.
He don't even remember for real.
I don't remember who he is.
Right, but trying to make up because you know he had a terrible bad past. Like, there are so many conversations. Just like I wish I could just have a whole season of conversations with T-Horne and Uncool, and my conversations be with the X-Men characters. You want to talk about what you're going through, Ross? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's like it is like a battle for every single one. Like, I never even thought about it. Like, I just not even thinking about it now. Like,
I feel like if you talk to people with problems, you can diagnose them as a character. You know,
oh yeah,
right.
You're going through what
Emma Frost
Wolverine went through.
Yeah, right.
No, for real.
Like, everybody going through something on that show. And that comes up. It's crazy because like
everybody can relate to something going through, like they're going through on the show too.
And that's the thing. X-Men relates to everybody.
Yeah.
No matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, there's some type of way where a character can relate to you. So you have to look past the whole boom, boom, shoot 'em up, superpowers, good versus evil fight. There are real issues talked about in that show that people just don't even realize subconsciously they're taking in. You know what I'm saying? Like even Morph. Let's talk about Morph for a second. So Morph, his character, his power is he has the power to morph, transform in any person and take on a small fraction of their abilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, when he turned into the Incredible Hulk, that blew my mind. But we talk about
he had some great transformations this season. Like, I was
I thought there was only like X-Men. I thought it was only mutants. I didn't know he was gonna be turned into Avengers too. That was dope. But with that being said, with Morph being able to transform, he's been labeled as a bisexual, transgender type character. And that's, like I just said, my last 2 episodes of Conversations with T-Horne focused on homosexuality and the fairness that people in the LGBT community get when they're not doing nothing wrong to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a character that can relate with those struggles, because you got 1 minute you're a man, 1 minute you're a female. In the regular world, it's crazy. And it's crazy because in the regular world, that'd be frowned upon.
Yeah.
But because he's around other people, other mutants that are different, they accept him. And that's crazy. Why can't we as people? Yeah, you're different. Yeah, I mean, I agree with who you are, what you do, but I can still accept you for who you are,
Yeah.
what you do.
Because
You know
all
what
you
I'm
want to do is exist.
Yeah,
you
I
Right.
just
I
want to
just
sit here
wanna
and
be,
breathe.
and it's like I can still be a good person and be gay. I can be a good person and be bisexual. I can be a good person and be transsexual. I can be a good person and be a white person. I can be a good person and be a black person, and you can still love me for the things that I bring to the table, and not like
Right.
don't like me
It's also
for the
not all
stuff
I
that
am.
you like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, and that's the thing. Like, what's the word? Tolerance is very
Mhm.
low, and I
Oh,
think
they
it's
use that.
ridiculous.
And it's funny. The thing they say in the X-Men, the whole
Tolerance is extinction.
Yeah,
tolerance, that tolerance and distinction, and the people they're fighting against with Bastion and Essentials. I don't tell the whole
are
story.
intolerant as hell.
No, no,
And
no,
that's
no,
the
no.
thing.
Listen to the name. It's OZT, Operation Zero Tolerance.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say when you talk about X-Men and you talk about how they relate to us as a society, it's showing people that like y'all don't have zero tolerance. If y'all start worrying about what people doing and just start worrying about what people like, how people are and what their character are, you wouldn't give it. You really wouldn't care. Okay,
Right.
because good people come in all shapes and forms, just like bad people come in all shapes and forms.
Mm-hmm.
Worry
I had a
about yourself.
conversation. Like I said, my last podcast was talking about homosexuality, and it was so deep. It had to do 2 episodes on it. I had to invite people back and talk deeper on it and everything. But I brought up to say this. A lady named Love Reigns was on there, and she was just saying she doesn't understand how they can harp so much on homosexuality, but at the same time you have straight people who are committing murders, who are raping people,
Pedophiles,
pedophilia,
rapists.
all that stuff and everything. But you want to harp so much on differences that you're not even dealing with or talking about the real issues going on
that
in the
we
world
have
today that need to be solved.
I say that all the time. Like, we literally have people out here harming children. And like it need but you're worried about somebody dressing up like a woman. I don't care about that.
You're worried about a drag brunch. Like,
yeah, I don't care about that. What I do care about is that guy or that woman that is sitting there messing with little children, that is murdering young children, or that's beating on women. Like,
women.
It's crazy to me,
like,
you know. So I'm just like, y'all be worried about the wrong.
Somebody said this topic is really new for me. I had no clue. I'm glad this conversation opened the eyes. Open the eyes, because it's crazy. It started with a conversation about a comic book story, and believe it or not, that was my plan the whole time. When people were talking about like, how are you going to talk about X-Men? How does that relate to the
I knew immediately.
The show. Say again, Troy.
I said, I knew immediately. I was like, oh yeah,
yeah, because it's like there's so many issues and so many relations to the real world that people don't take in consideration. And sometimes it's like you said, y'all said it, both of y'all said it. It's not subliminal. Sometimes it's right in your face.
Yeah, people just choose to ignore it. They choose to act like they don't see it.
And that's the problem, to the point, like, when are we gonna stop? Like, obviously the X-Men show is showing you front and center everything that's going on in the world today. Oh, I was gonna say, I was saying that to say it's showing you everything in your face. When are we gonna stop ignoring it, people? That's the main thing. But this is the one thing I wanted to hit as far as going back to relations to the real world today. What made this is the thing that made me want to have the conversation. So now I haven't talked about episode 5, X-Men 97, greatest episode I've ever seen. Really, I'm gonna say this: Marvel really needs to. I don't know what the Marvel Cinematic Universe like going on lately, but they are so trash. They need to take everything that was done in X-Men 97 and apply it to the movie.
They need to take the writers. They just need the writers. Get their team.
They fired the writers.
Bring
I went and got this.
I know.
Because I don't know what happened. I don't know what
happened. The Marvel Encyclopedia. I got one too. I got one too.
I don't know what happened. What happened here? But we need to. Yeah. We need to bring it back.
The Bible,
right.
yes, please.
Right.
The Marvel Bible.
Yeah.
So I said that to say this. So in episode 5, and people will think, like, y'all gotta understand, I'm a black man, so I'm gonna be pro-black everything. I'm not racist. I'm pro-black. I talk about black issues. I'm a black man.
Yeah.
But in X-Men 97, episode 5, it was said that the reason that the things happened in Genosha that happened was because within a 10-year time frame from that present point in that show, mutants would overpopulate the earth, and mutants would be the majority, and humans would be the minority.
Look where we at.
So, but listen now. So with that being said, That's why they went to Genosha and did all that mass genocide and this and that, and killed all the people and stuff like that and everything. There's like thousands of mutants that died that day, I believe.
Oof,
Real world
crazy.
reference.
Incarceration.
Not that.
Oh,
That's one of the things. That's one of the things. But
There's several ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Several ways. Real world reference is it's being said that the minorities in a couple of years, with the way, interracial relationships and this and that and all that stuff and everything, the minorities are growing the population. And soon the minorities will be the majority, and the people who are previously the majority will be the minority. So with that being said, I'm thinking about the mass genocide of Genosha now. There are so many things in the world going on today to limit the I guess our population, or or try to bring us down or keep us at the bottom. Like, for example, my blacks and browns, yes. So I work for a company called AMI Kids, and recently our program, we just got the news our program is shutting down. Now the reason we're being shut down is because the governor of Florida,
not doing funding.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. But one thing I did notice, and this is my opinion on what I've heard, it could not be fact. I'm just going off what I think. So don't take this as fact. But it's funny that all the schools that are getting shut down are the schools that help deal with the problem kids with a majority black.
Yeah.
And they're being sent back to regular schools. The thing that gets me with this is these are schools like that, like my company and my kids that help kids with behavior issues become better, so they can go back to their regular school, back to society, and be better people and make better decisions. Without those schools and without those avenues to help those children, they go into the regular schools, going off of the stereotypes of social media and basically are labeled as the troubled kids, which is going to lead to more problems in school, higher dropout rates, the kids not caring and stuff like that, kids not taking school seriously, being labeled as the dumb generation without getting education because nobody believes in and stuff like that. Not only that, I just heard that they just made this law that abortion is now illegal after 6 weeks and stuff like that. And with the closing down of the schools, let's talk about abortion for a second. First of all, I don't believe anybody should tell a woman what they should do with their body. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I don't believe in the killing of young children, but at the same time, I have open enough mind to be like,
never understand.
Right. Some women aren't ready to be mothers. Yeah. Some women get pregnant through things like rape and stuff like that. Who are we to tell someone who got raped, oh, you got to have this child? You know what I'm saying? There's so many different factors that people might take into consideration.
And the economy is in shambles. Like, who wants the milk is 6. I had went through, my youngest is 11, so she's going to be 12. So I just happened to go through the baby part. The milk is like $60 a can.
Right.
Like, the can is this big. Like, who finna have baby?
Hey. Yeah. You better get on WIC. But I'm saying.
For real. Listen.
That's if they keep funding it. Because they sound like they want to unfund that too.
Right.
They want to unfund that. Right. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. And don't make fun of me, but No Child Left Behind Act really left no children behind. No. What happened? And I tell people, the prime of Florida or the prime of children was the No Child Left Behind Act. We had after school care. We had after school programs. They had food for the kids. They had transportation. They had all types of free stuff. I said they had tutoring. These kids don't have shit now. I'm sorry, they don't have stuff.
I don't know, but they started taking that away when I was in school. Like, as you were talking about that, I'm like, it was different where I lived because they just started shutting down schools around the city and stuffing these schools.
And kids in one area. See,
it's like 45 kids in one class. It's like, how was a teacher? It's high school.
Supposed to learn like that.
That's why I said they canceled the free internet and the Wi-Fi money too. So yeah,
they got rid of all the arts.
Exactly.
You either a scholar or you play sports. If not,
and that's it.
That's the only option.
Like, they don't even do nothing for the kids that's failing. They just pass them along. Like, good luck.
Because a D is passing now. Officially, a D is passing now.
And that's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I got a whooping because I had a C. I was like,
you
what?
feel me? I be on my kids. I be on my kids about that beat. Like, what does that be about?
Right.
Because there's no reason for you. Like, I know your mind, so there's no reason for you to be bringing no beat home at all, especially in no damn social studies.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I can see math. How you get an A in math and a B in social studies?
Yeah, math is hard. I don't understand that.
But they be getting it. They be getting that math, but the social studies is a B. Like, nah, don't play with me.
But listen, though, I was saying that to say this, though. I brought the abortion. I brought up the closing of the schools, and there's so many other things. But what I'm saying is, from all that, a lot of people are realizing it's population control.
It is.
It's population control because you don't want like, for example, let's go back to abortion. Say a woman gets pregnant, doesn't want to be pregnant, and wants to have an abortion, but they can't have an abortion because it's illegal now.
Yep. So now you vote.
I mean, women will do things like commit suicide or treat that child a certain way because
they don't take care of them,
or kill that child. This is all ways to break down certain communities. You know what I'm saying? And it's the government. It's the same thing with the X-Men stuff. Population.
Your mind.
Before they get to the point they're too popular or too many of them, let's find ways to break them down. And it looks like we're just trying to control, trying to do the right things with the government, but really what we're doing is trying to control the status quo so we can always be in charge.
Yeah.
And that when I saw that and I saw the real world relation, I was like, I gotta do an episode on this. It's gonna sound crazy. Everybody I'm gonna be on some.
They're gonna think you're a conspiracy.
Anybody that knows, no.
But no, you're right.
But that makes me think about X-Men versus Avengers, like how, because I mean that is an issue, but like how we were saying, like it's like a community thing. Like that's why we need each other. So we all get in our minds played with essentially in these different ways to make us look at ourselves a certain way. And it's like with the X-Men versus the Avengers, like I don't remember who said it specifically, but his point was like, y'all supposed to be with us. Anytime it's some like, mutant type war that's going on and them trying to attack us on a mass scale, Avengers just be sitting back chilling. Like,
right.
And that's real. Because
like black community with gay people sometimes.
Wolverine and Beast and a couple of X-Men people have been part of the Avengers. So whenever the Avengers
they help the Avengers all the time. Yeah, and it's like it just makes me like it relates to again the real life thing of like being black and gay. Like sometimes that's the thing of like black people being like Black Lives Matter except those gay ones. It's like wait,
no.
We need each other. Like,
let me tell you another scenario. Let's talk about being gay and the church itself. We talked about this in the last podcast. Yeah. The church itself being so against gay people until you need a choir director, until you need somebody with some talent. You know what I'm saying? Then you imagine gay. You praise Jesus with your gay little heart out, baby. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a mental block.
Like talk about like their contributions to society, like even fashion. Like you running around, you wearing like all these designers. Oh, this is designer brand. That's a gay man you're wearing. You dripped out. You dripped out in that gay man though. You think that means that I have money? That shows me that I mean something. I'm like, well, you can't really talk about homosexuality in a negative connotation and then be like dripped out in Gucci or say like it's a little weird to me. That's weird.
So it's like this.
It's a mental block.
No, it's like
like you said, they don't see it. If I act like it don't exist, then it doesn't mean anything to me.
But that's why I brought this conversation up, because I wanted to show everybody who watching it, everybody who listening, that it is in our faces. And we gotta stop ignoring it. From something simple as watching the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? There's so many other ways. I just brought up this one because I'm a nerd and I saw it plain as day. Yeah. But everybody's not gonna see that. Like the message is we have issues in our world. The message is we are different and it's okay to be different. We shouldn't be like, if you can feel for the X-Men, you can feel for that black man you caught the nigga down the street. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You feel for the X-Men and stuff like that. You can feel for the person in the LGBT community that you bash because they're having sex with somebody that's the same sex as them, but it doesn't affect you in no way. You know what I'm saying? You can still feel for, you know what I'm saying? If you feel for the X-Men and the struggles they're going through, you can feel for anybody in any struggle, in any situation they're going through, and have some type of sympathy or empathy towards their situation. Right. But because it's not real, you can feel some type of way. And that's what I feel like people do. People hide how they truly feel through movies and through cartoons and through music and all that stuff and everything, but they can't show their true feelings in the real world because they're worried about what society will say or what the status quo would say or how people will judge them. But people need to let their real sympathetic and empathetic thoughts be like come out, because that's how the world's gonna get better. By people being able to stand up and say, hey, that's wrong to treat them that way. Hey, we need to help them. Hey, we need to be better as a people and treat them right. But you can show that stuff when it comes to TV shows and comic books and video games and stuff like that and everything.
Yeah,
but
when it comes to real people,
then there's
to face themselves.
Right.
But it's like people also need to ask themselves, like, because that's just not how psychology works. Like, even just to break it down that way, you don't get bothered by something that's not really getting a chord in you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's a reason why you're bothered by this. Like, you need to ask yourself, why am I so?
Why?
And usually, more than likely, unfortunately, the people that are extremely bothered, it's because of some type of jealousy or some frustration of like wanting to express this thing that they feel like they can't. So it's like, I can't express it. You shouldn't be able to either. Like, literally ask yourself. That's exactly how psychology works. I don't recall the last time I was mad at something that I didn't care about. Because you don't get mad at, like, you know,
stuff you don't care about. You don't care.
You just don't
care.
Why
to get mad at something I don't care about? You're mad. You're like talking to, like, it's like talking to your girl or your boy. You be like, I'm not mad, but you mad. Like, I'm trying. I don't care. You
feel it right here. You feel it right here.
Like, I'm trying to understand what it is that you care about, so I can care about it too. So that's a big thing. So no.
It's crazy, man. I really want to give a shout out to first of all, I mean, rest in peace to the great one, Stan Lee. You know what I'm saying? For even putting that out there, because for the people who are, you know, comic book nerds and stuff like that and everything, he found a way to talk about real world issues and relate without being. And I feel like that's the thing too.
He did it so subtly.
Yeah. He didn't
like cheer. Like
by the time we realized what was going on, it was too late, baby.
Yeah. You just slipped it in. The point we gotta realize the issue now. We have to realize the issue is going on. And it's funny, as time went on, you got Chris Claremont and all these people who have contributed to X-Men stories and stuff like that. I hope it was Chris Claremont. I think Chris Claremont. Yeah. How many people Jonathan Hicks, yes, all the people who have contributed to the issues that these characters go through, but all relating to real world issues, at the same time throwing the flair of entertainment in there at the same time, but still address issues and be like, hey, I know you're being entertained, but
this is real life.
Subconsciously,
don't forget.
I know what's going on.
Don't forget, Don't forget. This is really happening, y'all.
Man, it's crazy. And that's why I love the creativity of people. You know what I'm saying? Conscious X-Men fanfare. We're back on that. Yeah, we're talking about the authors and the illustrators and stuff like that and everything. Yeah, it was some great people. And I remember growing up, I think this was one of the reasons. I mean, obviously, I've been into comics and stuff like for the action and stuff like that. But I think the main reason I wanted to be a comic book artist growing up, when I first started drawing and stuff like that, was the art of storytelling and art to be able to say things that can't normally be said. Yeah. I know for a fact with me, when I write my music, like everybody's like, you don't express yourself. Like you're a positive, jokey dude, and you don't really express your emotions. Yet when I write my music, I can express all my deepest emotions. It's the same thing with the comic books, stuff like that and everything. When the writers write their stuff, they can say things that they wouldn't normally be able to say. Like say Stan Lee,
how they view the world, you know.
Right. What
they
Stan
talk
Lee?
about Wolverine in the 90s, like they said, was unhinged.
Right.
Okay. The things he would say. So we wouldn't be able to say those things today.
But not even that. Look at that. You said, Shante, you said I don't know if that's the right year. I don't know, honestly. I'm not gonna tell you. But you said X-Men came out in like 1963, right?
Yeah, it was like 1962 and things. I feel like it was 63. I feel like that resonates with me.
But think about it. A white man in the 1960s talking about civil rights.
Civil rights. It's crazy.
Because the crazy thing is, he might have wanted to make it about a black story and thought about it like,
if they said like, nah,
they're not gonna look at this. I gotta change them somehow.
And y'all see what happened to JFK. I can't do that. So what I'm gonna do, and that's why I say there's characters. I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. Ninja Turtles, for example. There's characters that we resonate with as black people that we know. Like that's a black character.
Oh, just so you know, side note about Ninja Turtles. So recently, I think it was IDM Comics. I forget who it was.
Or maybe it's Michelangelo.
But the Ninja Turtle comics. I know about the last one. I'm talking this. They had a comic where the Ninja Turtles were actually able to turn human.
Yeah.
And guess what? They was all black. All of them.
And that's what I said. Like, there's certain characters,
Yes.
characters
Yes.
that we know that are black. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain
No,
like,
it's
we
official.
know.
It is.
We know.
Yeah, it's
Like, we
official
know.
canon that the Ninja Turtles are black. Just so in case anybody wants to know.
I always said like, at least 3 of them. I said 3 of them out of the 3 of them was at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always 3 of them. Okay.
I didn't think at least one was gonna be Asian, but no, I
Right.
I like that. That works.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
Remember that they're brothers. They all gotta be the same race. All right.
Right. You're right.
Listen.
You're right.
Right there. They might have had different daddies.
Listen, they was adopted. So let's not really go into that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, look at that. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel with X-Men. Like, I feel like even though they weren't necessarily black characters, there was somebody that you resonated with within these characters who did not necessarily look like you, but you resonated with somebody within, you know, the clan. Like you resonated with somebody in there.
Okay. Shante, let me cut you off. Sorry to be rude, but we in the last 5 minutes of the show. So before we get off and everything, I want you guys to talk to the viewers about who you are, tell them how to connect with you and stuff like that, and you know things you might have going on, stuff like that. So Shante, you want to go first?
Listen, I have life work. No, I gave my Instagram because that's where I'm most active at. Facebook does not care for me because I be talking, and Facebook be like, nah, man, that's you talking too much. So Instagram is usually where I'm at. Instagram is usually where I'm at. They give me a little bit more leeway on Instagram than Facebook.
Okay. So follow her on IG, y'all, as y'all can see. At Raspberry Delight 888. You know what I'm saying? Infinity upright 3 times.
Exactly. I'm glad you've seen it.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Ryan.
Yes. So yeah, author and podcast. My most recent book is a Cicada Diaries. It's a horror book. It is. I mean, about cicadas.
I need. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Amazon.
I want to get a copy of that, please.
Yeah,
I got y'all. And it's kind of funny story. Like it's about cicadas, and I didn't know 2024 is the year of cicadas.
Oh wow!
Something
you
that
didn't know?
happened like 200 years. I had no idea. I just wrote it and I dropped it at the beginning of the year. And then a friend of mine sent it like, "Did you know this?" And I was like, "No idea." So yeah,
that's a superpower right there.
Right,
tapped in. The older I get, I feel more like Professor Xavier.
So cicadas been exposed 2024.
Listen, but yeah, outside of that, podcast host, I had a couple shows: Man of Horror, Love Journal, and Uncanny Blurred Man. 3 different sides of me because I'm a Taurus, so I'm like an onion. There's literally just so many layers. And then I also have a radio show called Love Journal After Dark. So you can catch that on Opulence Radio on Saturday and Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, cool. So with everything that's said today, I know it's kind of weird that we talk about the X-Men, but if you actually read between the lines, you can see it wasn't about the X-Men. It was about issues in the real world being highlighted right in our face that we choose to ignore. We see them on social media. We see them on cartoons and comics, video games, movies, everything. But the thing is, we see the issues, but are we addressing them? We can highlight them when it's an entertainment purpose, but when it's a real world issue, what are we doing about it? That's why the X-Men is so important to me, because everybody can relate to the X-Men in some type of way. Everybody, from their issues, from their differences, in some type of way, the X-Men is probably the most relatable comic book there is out there right now. The only thing is, do you see yourself in the X-Men, or do you see somebody you know in the X-Men that might have an issue, and are you doing anything to help them? Are you having those conversations? Are you getting understanding? Are you moving forward in a positive direction? Y'all know me. I'm T-Horne Uncool. This is Conversation with T-Horne Uncool. I thank my guests, Shante and Troy, for being on here. Definitely got to have y'all back on here for more conversations and stuff like that. We got time. I get the applause.
Always ready.
Okay. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the show for tonight. We'll be coming back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. talk about more issues that need to be talked about. The conversations need to be had. With that being said, this has been Conversation with T-Horne Uncool. I'm T-Horne Uncool. Thank my guests once again for going on, and y'all be blessed. Y'all be uncool.
Thank you. Peace.
me until you know me. Don't underestimate me until you challenge me. And don't talk about me until you talk to me. Or better yet, mind your business and stop minding mine.
Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, my name coming out must taste good as you keep it in your mouth. Got something must for you if it go down south. I'm just playing. What the heck you talking about, huh? Why you worry about who I wanna date, huh? Why on the main course on your plate, huh? Why everything concerning me gotta turn to be argument or debate, huh? Is he a Christian religion? Has he forsaken? He just was dating her. How many women he dating? Had another kid? That nigga don't know when to stop. I heard he smoking, getting high. Boy, that fell from the top. See what I learned. This your concern. It's all about me. Y'all gossiping made me look at y'all like female dolls in heat. But let's make something concrete. I'm seasoned, yes indeed. Y'all must like the recipe, cause y'all all on my meat. Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, haters try to diss me, they love me, but they dismiss me. Play hard, but acting sissy. They lies be so convincing, and exes get jealous quickly. They won't admit that they miss me. They hate that I moved on, so use my children against me just to keep up the talk. People peep on my wall just to keep tabs on my flaws, just to keep me involved. Doing everything they ask me, but that ain't enough. I'm on everybody's tongue and everybody on my jump. His rap career won't take off. That nigga ain't hard, he really soft. Try to see his page, but I'm blocked. He was living for Jesus, then he stopped. He get girls just to knock him off. He lies, the truth ain't what he taught. I be so close to popping off, but then I realize I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talk and then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh,
My whole life, I lived it based off of other people's opinions. They judge what I do, what I say, how I think, and I judge my whole life based off their interpretations. But now I got to the point where I realize my life is my own, and I'm the only one that can live it. So, if you got an opinion, keep it to yourself. I'm gonna live how I see fit.
I'm the topic of conversations. Yeah, I'm in rotation. Gossip about, keep my name out their mouth. Oh,